So HTML helpers are just like ASP.NET Server controls, and these help us to create the form input controls. And in fact, these are the extension method of HTML helper class. So in ASP.NET MVC, we have a class HTML helper. So all the methods for creating the form input control are the extension method of this HTML helper class. And all the helper methods return HTML markup for us so that we can create the form control like input type text, then ID, then name, then input type checkbox, then we have like select for getting the drop down list. Even we can create our own helpers as well, or we can use the built-in HTML helpers as well. So in ASP.NET MVC, we have built-in HTML helpers. So these are like standard HTML helpers. We have a strongly type HTML helper. We have template HTML helpers. So these are the example of some built-in HTML helpers we can use for creating the form input controls. We have the inline helpers as well, and even we can create our own custom HTML helpers. So first here we will start from the built-in HTML helper. So let's see how we can use the built-in HTML helper for creating the form input control. So here what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to create a account controller, and in the account controller I will add a action named as login for creating the login page. So we have here account controller, and then we have here login. For login I'm adding a view index, and let's say I'm just going to create a form, let's say using html dot begin form, and here I want to create a username, text box for username and the text box for password. So I can use here at the rate HTML. So this is the instance for HTML helper class, and I can call the method text area. If you will see in the signature of this method, it is showing us it is extension method. And here I can pass the name for the text box. Let's see, name is here username. And here you might be wondering like from where we are getting this HTML. So this HTML is a property of web view page. So if you will look into the views folder, so the views folder we have a web.config file, and in this web.config file we have mentioned the base page class for all the views in our view folder. So there is a base page class, and the class name is web view page. So in this web view page we have this HTML property. You can verify just using here F12. Just go to the definition. So we have the web view page class which we have mentioned here. So in the web view page class, we have the HTML property, we have the Ajax, we have the model, and we have the view data. So from here, we are getting the HTML. So when you're using here at the rate, you will get the HTML, you will get the Ajax, you will get the model, all the things you will get here. And if you look into this text box, so text box is extension method. So extension method are a special type of static method, and in the extension method the first parameter we pass for that class which we are going to extend, and the next parameter we pass what we want to do in that method. So you can see it is a static method here, and this static method is a part of the static class. So there is a static class named as input extension. So you can see here all the built-in HTML helpers are in fact extension method of the HTML helper class. And the objective of extension method is to extend the behavior of an existing class without altering its structure. Same way we can create our own custom HTML helper by creating a static class and by creating a static method there. And that method also will be available on this HTML helper class property when you will put the dot after this one. So same way we can create a text box for password as well. So we have here password. So just use here password, and we have here password. I'm just using here password. Then at the submit button, I'm using here input type submit. Let's do one change here. Let's say submit, and value I can give here. Let's say login. So guys, for the submit button, we don't have any helper. So that's why I'm writing here plain HTML. So when you will open this page for the username, it will render a text box. For the password, it will render a input a password text box. So let's see how it is rendering the text boxes for username and password. So you can see here we have the username, we have the password, and if you will look into the source code, in the source code you can see we have here input type text, ID is username, name is also username, we have an input type password, ID is password, name is also password. And even if you will see in case of form, we have the method as post and we have the action as account/login. So when you will click on this login button, it will submit the value for username as well as password on this action, and method would be here post. And guys, do you know which attribute is responsible for posting your input control value on the server side? Obviously, name is responsible for posting your input controls value on the server side. It is HTML behavior, because in case of ID we can use to manipulate the input element on the client side. Name we can use for receiving our input control value on the server side, and it is everywhere, whether you are using ASP.NET Web Form, PHP, Java, MVC, everywhere the same rule will be applicable. So here what we have to do, we have to do here one thing. Let's see how to receive the value on the server side. So for receiving the value on the server side, what I can do, I can create its post a version for receiving the value on the server side. So let me receive the value, let's say string username. So whatever the name we have for the text boxes, so with the same name we can receive the value on the server side. The string username, the string password. Then define here HTTP post. So whatever the text boxes name we have, so with the same parameter name we can use in our action for receiving the value for username and password. So let's run the code and see how it is working and how we can receive the value on the server side. So I'm passing the username as, let's say, Shailendra, password 123456. Then I'm getting here username as Shailendra, password as 123456. And this way we can receive the value on the server side. That's it. Same way we can use here is strongly typed HTML helper as well. So in this strongly typed HTML helper, what we can do, we can add a model class with the name login model, and in login model class we can add properties, one for username and one for password. So just add a property here, a string username and a string password. So now I can create this view as strongly typed. So let me do one thing. I'm just commenting out this code so that you will have the previous code as well as new code. What I'm doing here, I'm just using here at the model, then the name is space, web routing, then models, then login model. So this is my class login model. Now based upon this login model class, I can create the text boxes. So we have here text box 4. So in case of a strongly type helper, we have the 4 word as a suffix. And in case of text box 4, we use the lambda expression. So using the lambda expression, we can access all the properties available in the login model class. So we have here password 4 as well. And then I'm using here m dot lambda operator m dot password I'm using here. So in this way I can access the value for username and the password. And here you might be wondering like from where I'm getting them. So this is the lambda operator in fact. On the left hand side of this lambda operator represent to the method parameters, and the right hand side represent to the method body. And you know guys, lambda expression is just another way to rewrite the anonymous method, or you can say to rewrite the inline method. So the same thing we are doing here. So m is representing to the model class which we have added at the top level, and here in MVC there will be one-to-one mapping between a model and a view. We cannot add here more than one classes, and even based upon more than one classes we cannot create a form here. There will be only one class because there is one-to-one mapping. So now here I am accessing the username property, I'm accessing the password property so that we can create the text boxes for username as well as for password. So it will also create the same text box, one for username and one for password, and using the same method I can receive the value for my username and the password as well. And even you can use one more syntax here, I'm just showing here. And instead of receiving the username and the password separately, the better way is you can receive the username and the password value with the alphabet model class instance. So what I can do, I can use here login model as instance. In the login model is itself, I can receive the value. Because in the login model, we have the same properties name as we have our text box's name. So here the model binders internally will do the typecasting of the request body data. So here model binders is responsible for mapping the value of the request body to the action receiving parameter. In the above case also the model binders is responsible. And here don't think like the login model we can use only with the view which one is strongly type. No, the condition is here if your text box names are matching with the receiving model properties name, you can receive a standard form value as well on the server side using the this model instance member. So let me show you like how we can receive the value on the server side when you are creating it as a strongly type model. So what I can do, I can use here account and login, Shalin and password 1234. And here if you will see here, I'm getting the username as Shailendra, password as 1234. So in this way also we can receive the value on the server side if we are creating a strongly type view. So this is my strongly type view. And just like the strongly type helper, we can use here template helper as well. So in case of template helper, we use here editor 4. Editor 4. In the template helper, we never specify the text box type, like whether it is a password, whether it is a text area, whether it is a normal text box. For every property, you have to use here only editor 4. And template helper are just like we have the templates. So in case of template, we have the predefined structure. Same way in the template helper, we have the predefined things. So based upon the passing parameter, it will generate the input controls for us. And in case of template helper, it will render the text box based upon the data type of our property. If the data type is a string, it will render a normal text box. If the data type is integer, it will render a numeric text box. If the data type is boolean, it will create a checkbox. So here for password as well, it will create a normal text box. So when you will type something, it will expose. You can see. And generally the template helper we use for POC purpose. Like we don't care about the design. We are just showing the way like how the things will happen. You can see password is going to be exposed as a simple way. We are not getting here dot dot. But here the rendering behavior we can control for our template helper by decorating the property by using the data type attribute. So data type attribute I can use here. So this way it will be here data type and password. So this way I can control the rendering behavior for my password text box. Now let's see how it is going to render the text box password for property password. So I'm using shell in the password 12345. You can see we are getting here in perfect way. Or even you will get the value I'm getting here shell in then 125. So templated helper we can use for generating the controls here, but they will decide the input type based upon the property. But if you want to control the rendering behavior, then use the data type attribute. So here all the data types will are available as per we have the in HTML5. So don't think it is creating as per its own way. These are the available input type in HTML5. So whatever the valid input type in HTML5 we can mention here in data type. So we have done with the built-in HTML helpers in ASP.NET MVC. Same way we can use here inline HTML helpers as well. So inline helpers we can use for reusing the HTML markup on a same page. So how we can do it? Let me show the way. Suppose I have a okay. Let me add a controller with the name home. I'm adding here. For the home controller index section, I'm adding a view index. And what we can do on this index page? On the index page, let's say I want to show the newly added products, like most popular products, or like trendy products. But generally, when we are displaying such type of products on a web page, so we have the way of representation generally we use in the same way. So what I can do here for displaying these things, I can create a inline helper. So inline helper we create using the helper keyword. Then use here show data I'm using here. The show data just receive an string array I'm just receiving here. You can receive any parameter here as we receive in C sharp. So it might be a list type. Then I'm using here another list and li. And li I'm wrapping in a for each statement. So it will be here array and li. And what I can do, I can use here at the rate item. Now let's say we want to show here like h2 manually added courses. So I can call this method here. Let's say show data. I'm using here new. I'm passing the string here itself. So let's say I'm using here. Let's say Python AI machine learning. So these are the newly added courses. Let's say I'm adding here most popular. So for most popular, I can use here. Let's say MVC Azure. Let's say Xamarin, and we have let's say AWS. So if you will see here in both the cases, we are just using the unordered list for displaying our newly added courses and the most popular courses. Same way you have such type of things which where you want to reuse the things at more than one places. So instead of adding the UL and the for each loop two times, I'm reusing the things. And this helper you can access only on this page. You cannot access this helper on any other page. Let me show the way like how it is working. So you can see I'm getting here newly added courses, Python, artificial intelligence, machine learning, most popular MVC Azure, Xamarin, AWS. And if you will look into the source code, in the source code we have here ULLI and ULLI. So it is not just like Angular or like any client side framework, because there we have all the things on the client side, but here the things are going to be processed on the server side. So this is a way we are accessing the things here. So you can create your custom HTML helpers. So let me show you how we can create. So if you will see on the login page, we have a button. For the button, there is no HTML helpers in MVC. Let's say you want to create your own custom helper for the button. So how I can create? I can add a, let me add a folder here for custom helper. I'm adding here, let's say custom helpers. And here I said about the HTML helpers. So HTML helpers are the static methods which we create in a static class, because these are the extension method. So extension method we create in a static class, and the first parameter we pass for that class which we are going to extend here. So let me define my class name here. It is custom helper. Just make it as static. And if you will see in the login page, we are using this editor for method. So let me show you the simple one. If you will go to the, if you will look into the definition of text box here. So let's have a look on the text box definition. So it's a static method. Its return type is MVC HTML string. And the first parameter we are passing here using the this keyword, this HTML helper, the new class name. Then I'm passing the name, value, and the HTML attributes. So these things you are passing. So same way we have to create a static method here, and all these static methods are the part of a static class. Same thing I have done. I have created my static class, and in my static class I will define my static method. So just copy the signature part. Same I'm just going to define here. So return type is MVC HTML string, just define here. And in place of text box, I'm using here submit button. And the submit button, I'm just using the value. So button value I'm using here. So its return type, if you will see, its return type is MVC HTML string. So let's create a simple string here. So what this is the simple string like input type submit and login. So input type submit and login this way. And in place of login value, what I can do, I can use the value from here like value. Name as well I can use here. Let's say name equal to name. Name equal to name. And here just use return new MVC HTML string and str. This way I can use. So this is the way we can create our own custom HTML wrapper. And here you might be wondering like why we are not making its return type as simple string. If you try to make a simple string, so what will happen? It will not render as a button. It will render as a simple text as our menu was rendered. So I'm just created two extension method, one with MVC HTML string type, return type, and one with string as a return type. And if you want to access these two helpers on each and every page, so what you have to do, just add this namespace in my view folder web.config. In the view folder web.config, we have the option for adding the namespace. So here I can use add namespace. After adding this namespace, I can access my custom helper everywhere. But make sure whatever the HTML, whatever the files you have opened, just close and reopen again. Same thing I'm doing. I have just closed all the files here. Now just try to access our own custom helper. So just use at the rate HTML, then submit button. So you can see I'm getting here submit button, I'm getting here str submit button, and both are accepting the name and the value. So let me create a button using the submit button. I'm just using here name. So let's say name, I'm using here command. Value, let's say I'm using here login. Same way I can use here str submit as well. So let me use here str submit. So let's say you want to create a cancel button this way. But here it will render the button only for login. It will not render the button for cancel because it is a normal string return type. So let's run the code. So you can see for the login I'm getting the button, but for cancel I'm not getting the button. It is displaying to us as a string. But if you want to render the button for the cancel as well, just wrap this code in HTML dot raw method in this way. Now reload the code and see I'm getting the cancel button now. And here let's say you want to capture like which button you have clicked. So in that case, if you will see in case of both buttons, the name attribute I'm defining as command. If you will have a look in the source code, both the button having the same name attribute, name equal to command, name equal to command. So in HTML, the multiple input controls can have the same name attribute value. So same thing is happening here. So here what will happen when you will click on the login button, then login button value will be posted as a command on the server side. Then the cancel button value will be posted as a command on the server side. So just use here command for accessing the value here. So just add controller and here I can receive the value. So here you can use here form collection as well for receiving the value. So what I can do, I can use here string command equal to form and command. Now here you can find out whether command equal to login and then do this one, else do this one. Now let's run the code and see what is happening. Click on the login and I am passing the username and the password. Let's say 1234. I'm just clicking here the cancel button. If you will check, it will show us button command is cancel, not the login. So it will go to the else part. Now just click on the login button. And then the command name would be here login. So in this way you can handle the multiple button click event as well. So just define a name attribute for the button, and whatever the button you will click, only that button value will be posted on the server side. Same way you can create your own custom helper. It's up to you what the custom helper you want to create. You can create a custom helper for calendar. You can create a custom helper for date picker as well. It's up.